All right, welcome to Rapid Fire Manufacturing. Today I'm with Brendan McAra of McAra Machining. I see him on LinkedIn posting sweet pictures of work pieces and his machines and stuff like that. So super excited to have you on the show today, Brendan.
Yeah, appreciate you letting me jump on.
Yeah, wanted to jump into. I read a little bit of I read your bio, but it's been a while, so I'd love for you to talk about how you got into the industry, how you started your company, if you don't mind.
Yeah, for sure. No, I started young. I was 18, jumped, I was in a little Sandy high school. And we had a nice shop. It was new and we ran some Tormax and, I just, did welding, did all the different manufacturing. And it was something with the CNC, the programming, all that we did. It was fun. And then right out of high school, I worked for a company. They had, grind shop, fab shop. We did pretty much all of it and worked for them for about 6 months till I saw a Haas VFD that was for sale and had a guy have some space that I could put it, and honestly I just was like, well, it's cool, so I just bought it. So but
Yes. So how
y-
old were you at that time when you bought it?
18.
That's crazy. That's
So
awesome.
it was almost on my birthday. So it was like, I guess that was my early birthday present. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and then did that, and then I had an opportunity to I don't know, it was about 6 months later. Or so a lady had her shop she was selling, so she had a couple Fadals, Bridgeport, everything in there. She just wanted to get rid of it all. So I got a good deal on that. So brought that in. I was working part-time, 3 days a week in my other job, and then I'd work, a day or two in my shop. And then, yeah, just kept getting busy and I just couldn't, had to stick with the shop. So, but yeah, everything, all my training was just from the book. I bought this Haas. I didn't even know how to run it. I put
That's
it in,
crazy.
was reading the books, Google, YouTube, I just, broke some stuff and, yeah, here we are. I just, figured it out. A lot of people think, I, did some schooling or something and I just had to make stuff. So we jumped right into it.
That's
Yeah.
sweet. Where did you store this stuff when you started?
The machines,
Yeah.
I happened to the company I worked for before, I know the owner pretty well. So he had a warehouse that had bought that had power and stuff that he was like, rent this out pretty much, and so we started with a small piece, put the Haas in. We had a couple lathes that we sold, and yeah, and then we just keep building out, getting more space, adding stuff. Yeah, he was, I was fortunate that, gives me, was reasonable rent and, wanted me to, well, I and actually help them out a lot too. So I do a lot of stuff for them that they don't have the capabilities to do. So it kind of worked out in the end.
That's cool. So it sounds like he was all for you starting your own business and doing your
Yeah,
own work. That's
he started his up kind of the same way and it just really intrigues him, and so he really liked knowing that that's kind of where I ended up being. I didn't really have the vision of doing what I do, but it kind of fell into place. Obviously I like it, the entrepreneurship, and it just, we just kept going with it. So but yeah, it's a lot, but yeah, now we got 7 CNC mills, I think. A couple,
crazy.
the DNM 750Ls, so a couple big ones too. So
Mhm. So I guess going back to when you started too, what was your mindset like? Were you so eager to buy that first machine, that first Haas that you're just like, I'm doing this, or was it like you were sort of nervous about it,
oh,
or more
yeah, it's a
excitement
little
than
nervous
nerves?
when all my summer savings goes into a machine I have no idea what I'm doing with. But you got to start somewhere, and that was kind of just especially once I bought it. Shoot, we still run it to this day, and one of the best machines I bought, for the price. And yeah, at the time, had the help and stuff from my parents. I was having to get some loans, help out for a
Mhm.
couple of other things I was buying, because obviously you spend, the money on that, and you still got tooling, and you still have, well, it was just me at the time, but my time and everything.
It's crazy too, because these are the stories you hear, you know, you started off on a machine, now you have
Yeah.
7. You're gonna look back at this podcast and be like, "I remember when I only had 7 machines and
I'll be
now I have
I'll be
20."
up to 14. So, well, that's the goal. The problem when I guess it's not a problem, but you get into this is there's something about it that you just want to keep going. I guess there's a point that you won't want to, but we have some big goals. I don't know about more machines because we've ran out of space and we keep taking more. So I think I'm just about done there. But we got some big goals of possibly some moves and stuff that'll make a big difference.
That's awesome. And so do you have sort of a idea of what you wanna accomplish in the next couple years? And don't tell all the goals because you wanna
Yeah.
keep most of those to yourself, but, like,
Yeah.
kind of a
Well, that's the biggest thing lately. I kind of what I've noticed in doing what I do is I'm more of just in the day. I just go through, I get the work done, I do it. And lately I've been really thinking, what am I gonna do with it all? Where am I gonna go with it? Do I wanna be as big as some of these other people and whatnot? But for sure, hopefully in the next couple of years, it would be really nice to be in our own building
Mhm.
instead of obviously renting and um be able to move it all and have more space, and I think that would be nice. And then I'm just gonna there's gonna be obviously added roles that'll need to be played, adding people and all that. But that's kind of one of the big goals right now is to get into something for ourselves and get some more space. Seems
That's
like it's
awesome.
the
No,
one
that's
thing
great.
everyone runs out of space, it seems like.
Now, if you were to tell someone maybe just getting into actually not even machining, maybe someone who's been machining, but they're hesitant to start a business,
Yeah.
what would you tell them? Like, what's one
Yeah.
piece of advice? Maybe something to prepare them or warn them or
Yeah, it's hard to prepare when even now every day it's there's something different that pops up. It's there's always something. You can have these weeks that are great, you get through and you're like, this is great, but it's definitely if you're not gonna want to put in the work, and those weeks that you're working 80, 90 hours a week, it's what's gonna have to happen. We're starting to get to a good space that we're not having to do that as often, but it's always, if it's not that, it's one thing or another.
Mhm.
But just starting off, me, it's just kind of one of those, you just got to do it. If you think that's kind of what it is, you just have those visions and you kind of just got to send it.
Yeah, yeah. And I see some of your posts too, you're up early
Oh
driving
yeah.
out to the shop, right? 4 a.m.,
Or late.
whatever. Yeah, or late, yeah.
Yeah, you jump in, at 9, 10 o'clock, because why not? You got a couple machines that you can run for a couple extra hours. There's times that we get pretty backlogged workload. They want it back pretty quickly. So it's it's like I said, it's kind of just one of those, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So but that's the hard part is, you know, you see a lot of, I've seen some guys that, want to get into, not even machining, but any business, and it just gets to be too much. It's,
Mhm.
some people don't realize, they kind of look at us and they're like, kind of make it look easy, but, there's a lot to it, a lot more to it than you think, just, oh, running a business and working, it's, yeah, it's a lot.
There's so much coordination that goes on
Yeah.
between, yeah, you finding suppliers and
Yeah.
materials, and then you gotta worry about hunting and getting your own customers.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely props to doing that and be proficient at, machining.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah,
that's what I'm good at, making these parts. If I could, it would be nice not to do everything else. But
yeah.
it just comes along with it. I go home and we do I do all my books, so my night I get home, do the family stuff, and then I'll work for an hour or two extra, do books, do invoicing. If it's not that, it's programming for the next day. It's just one thing after another.
Yeah,
But it's great. There's weeks that you really don't wanna do it, and you just really like, "Man, it'd be nice not to," but, it works out, and you get through those
yeah.
weeks, so
That's you gotta squash that little
yeah.
voice that starts it's especially early in the morning too. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
"No, you gotta
You gotta do
yeah,
it.
you gotta get." Yeah, for sure. No, that's a great mindset, and I think you're definitely well on your way for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that I've been this is a different question than I've ever probably heard. What's a piece of advice you'd give to a salesperson reaching out to you?
To reaching out to me.
Yeah, like, I've never heard that before. I don't know why that crossed my mind. So if there's a salesperson, though, don't reach out to Brendan. So,
Yeah, yeah, it's funny you say that because I actually kinda was talking to a guy, because he's like, "Oh, just go sell yourself and go, go get out," and yeah, you think it's easy, you just walk in and do it, and, I mean, the biggest thing I've seen, uh, and especially the guys that I have the best relationships with for, tooling, for coolant, for
yeah.
whatever. Honestly, really don't try to sell. It's more of the relationship. The selling will come a part of it.
Yeah, to your point, I feel like a lot of starts with trusting someone and building a
Yeah.
relationship. Because there's so many people that I've bought in cars because I've built a relationship with them
Yeah.
first, and then I'm like, "I wanna help you out. You're whatever,
Yeah.
selling cars." Like, yeah, no, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, is I have a couple main guys that, it's we more of the relationship and I just, I happen to just because of the, not just because of the relationship, but, they do their work and they do it right and they do what I need. So it's
Mhm.
like, I can text them on a weekend and say, "Hey, I need some tools," or, "Hey, text them about something and they'll get back to me," and that's what I've noticed, when you get somebody, I've had many guys come in, I'm younger, shop, want to sell me stuff and get me using certain things. And, it's tough, when you walk in and just want to, "Hey, we sell that." So, and I'm like, "Well, I got a great relationship and I buy a ton already through here. You guys might be cheaper even, but it's the relationship and it's the connection I have that honestly that, kind of keeps things together." I mean, I even do with people that have quoted jobs and, talk to that I throw should tell them nothing about making parts, and, they'll just happen to, last week I got or early this week, I got 2 quotes just to be like, you know, I had no clue I was gonna get through and have any interest, quoting any of their stuff, and
Yeah,
they out of nowhere just came out and, "Hey, we need to quote this. Is this something you're interested in?" So, and those were 2 that I didn't even really, I guess, try. I just
that's
talked to
sweet.
them,
Yeah,
had a good conversation, and they happen to remember and then be like, "Oh, he might be able to do this," but
for sure.
yeah,
No, I appreciate it, Brendan. I look forward to watching your growth through LinkedIn, and who knows, at some point, maybe I can come out and visit the shop.
yeah.
So,
But we're always around. We're working almost every day. We're well, at the moment, we're not going anywhere, but hopefully we'll move somewhere, so, but,
yeah.
yeah, if you're ever on the West Coast, so, but, we're around, so,
All
but,
right, awesome, Brendan. I appreciate your time, man.
yeah, no, I appreciate you letting me, be on it. Like I said, this is a little different than what I'm used to, but, uh, it was nice.